What's going on, YouTube world? Benny, Dave, Benny, Steve. We're all here. Hey, we're all here. So, Steve, Benny, and Dave, the gang's all here. On brand, very much on brand. So, we're switching over to that's not content, that's drama. Jeff Wilson with his tighty whities and too tight for living sweatpants. You're excused. Co-parenting is fucking great. I'm just gonna say that. Fuck the fuck off.
Are we gonna have a repeat?
Trista said, I don't think they're gonna like being called YouTube fuckers 2 weeks in a row. I said they'll like whatever I tell them to like.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far, Dave.
They have the faithful legions that follow us to the end of the earth and watch us plummet to our doom and laugh and then turn around. So
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, Naomi got picked up at like 7:34. So
of course,
because somebody called at 6:13 saying, "Oh, I just put the phone on speaker, direct it towards Naomi, and it's done. Click." 6:13. I texted at like 7:08. I'm like, "Yeah, you plan on picking up Naomi?" You said you were. I have to eat supper, and that was at 7:18. I said it takes an hour to eat dinner. And of course, not summer yet, but I heard a fucking field full of crickets. So I'd say I'm sorry, but it's out of my control when you deal with fucking idiots. And that seems to be the MO of late. Yesterday was a fucking garbage day at work. Last week was a garbage day at work. Every day is a garbage day at work. So,
Eric, no, that's we do that on Thursdays. We do that on Thursdays. We just haven't bothered to communicate to anybody because we can't bother to keep our shit straight. So,
yeah. And Baz, no pizza tonight. I know. Everybody, I hope you're sitting down. That's it. I went quasi healthy.
I'm glad I'm sitting down.
I mean, that's quasi. So don't fucking get too excited. I just tossed those over here prior to. Well, I had these because it's. But then I had on there sprinkled some cheese. Again, everything's here because I just fucking got done eating too. The 3-pepper cheese. And then I put ranch on the wrap, the cheese, slices of ham, like when you have a quarter ham or whatever it is, and it's all pre-sliced, and then pickles. So it's just a wrap. I've been craving that. I enjoy those a few times a year. It's something simple. It blends some good tastes together, and I just didn't really want to cook. I'm tired of fucking doing dishes. I get so tired. I just let them sit. I'm like, if I can get a paper plate in there and do something, I would do that every time, just because I don't want to fucking do dishes. I hate them. Oh, I love naan bread. Naan bread is fucking the garlic kind, and then we've got like a caramelized onion, and that's at the store, and it's also very good. But I really like it with you get butter, garlic, and then you actually have Indian food. I don't have like a tikka marsala or Joe. Basically, Saturday I bought a pack of 6 like it said hard cooked. It's like hard boiled. That's what it's called. Hard boiled eggs, and I literally mowed through those things in like 10 minutes. I haven't had those in forever. And I dipped them not in usually salt and pepper, but it's this stuff. So good. So surprised I didn't stink out the world then. The 6 hard-boiled eggs in any amount of time is brutal on the atmosphere.
As I've always said, at least from a national perspective, we need to have a safe word. Just so we can haul ass the opposite direction.
You'll see. You'll know when I'm doing it because I do a traditional lift. A lift, like if you see me doing one of those, I'm not stretching my back. It's
okay. First of all, I'm not going to be paying attention to you doing any traditional lift because I'm not going to be staring at your ass while we're at national.
It's true.
Just come on. We'll come up with the safe word, and all you have to do is out of the middle of nowhere throw out the safe word, and if we're close or near, we know to haul ass.
Yeah, it's gonna. Especially the food we're gonna be consuming.
Yeah, because it's going to be a lot of junk.
Yeah,
but that's okay, and a lot of beer. Be consuming a lot of beer. At least that's my plan. I can't speak for anybody else, but. And before anybody asks, which I'm surprised nobody's bothered to ask, there is a reason for this setup.
the lighting.
This pertains more to the two at the top. I'm sure I'll have some things to chime in and say, but these guys, are more apt to have information pertaining to the subject at hand. Because from my perspective, this shit don't impact me. At least not from a sport watching perspective. So I'll just go ahead and throw that out there now. That's the reason why Vinny is gracing the top level this evening on this episode. Let's just hope that he has an opportunity to say a few things without too many interruptions from a dog that I'm going to strangle. So there's that. There's that.
And for national, Steve.
Am I actually going to get my Reese's? Just make sure they go in the freezer.
Well, these ones should be. Well, again, they're going to be good till what? September. They got a September date up. So
just make sure when you get there they go in the freezer. So I'll have to wait at least a day before I can eat some of them because I really prefer them cold. That's the way I like them. With
yes,
with a big old glass of milk. Not that I'm gonna buy milk and put it in the refrigerator. National.
Wake up in the middle of the night, go bath, and there's Steve with a fucking 40-ounce of goddamn milk and Reese's, and be like,
"Sup, Dave?"
You're like, record. This is content. People want to talk about the national and being on the floor. This is what you need to see.
The only difference is we'll be in separate rooms. So the fact of you getting up in the middle of the night watching me eating Reese's and drinking my milk, that could be cause for concern.
Could
Just
be, but
throwing
if,
that out
if,
there.
if they are connected rooms or whatever.
Yeah, I still have to call. Actually, I need to talk to my neighbor and see if she can call and see what that looks like. I haven't done that yet. Nor have I booked my airfare yet. But I did price check yesterday, I think.
Is it coming
And
down at all?
no, it's still right about the same amount. It's about like 340 something
Okay.
round trip. I don't like the times though. Like so coming home Monday
Mm-hmm.
isn't too bad. I think the flight was like leaving at 2 in the afternoon or something, which
Okay.
works great for everybody
Yeah.
to a degree. The flight out, it would get me into Michigan earlier, which is not a bad thing. But the flight's like at 7:19 in the fucking morning on a Tuesday. And it's like, do we not have any other options? Can I get one about like 10ish?
Be like, is there something around noon? I mean, come on.
I mean, I could do 10, but there's all the airlines are claiming that they're reducing some of the flights during the summertime. They're not having as many available times during the summer. And it's like,
Yeah,
thanks.
because nobody travels during the summer. I mean, that's have them all during February and fucking January. Load up then.
Baz, I'll take your word for it. Back in the day, I used to do Old E in the 40 ounce. That's because it was cheap.
Yep.
That and Bud Ice. Whew, that was rough. Old English, Old E, not too bad. Not too bad. But yeah.
So I used to have, I think I drank some, again, not a huge beer drinker, but I had some of the Mickeys because it was usually what, like $2.50 to $3 for a 40. And that's value. I mean,
Well, Bud Ice was like $1.49 or some shit. Old E was like $2.79 back when I like drank it.
mhm.
And what's bad, so Bud Ice in the 40 is not the same as Bud Ice was in like the can or the bottle. Completely different flavor. Completely different flavor.
Which that's not a good sign either. But
So I think Bud Ice in the 40 was like the bottom of the fucking barrel shit.
well,
Because
that
it
Steel
was rough.
Reserve, like your regional, like if you can get like the old Shasta flat of like 24 cans for like under $7 or $8, you're like, is this like hot dog water, or is this like the equivalent of hot dogs for beer? Like,
Yeah,
I
it's
I get value, and I get like, hey, get your bang for your buck, but at some point, it's like taste has to come into play.
yep. Yep. Dude, Vinny's dealing with barking dog. I'm dealing with this one deciding to, squeeze into a space. Bubba, can you go lay down? Back up. Back up. Back up. Go lay down. You listen as good as Ghost does. Go lay down. So I will say, since the subject has to do, well, at least the placeholder, you indicated more baseball related. And no, I'm not going to open all of these, but
Hangers.
2023.
The gourmet guy said he bought 3 blasters and a hanger. And I think he pulled everybody but Adley out of all that stuff. Well, at least
I don't know who I'm looking for, but it's like for $13 a piece. Everybody talks about hangers being the better value.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why not? Give it a chance. I'm not putting together the set this year like I have in past years, at least Series 1. And for those who watched my last video, which not many people did, this is what I was alluding to as far as opening some stuff. Vinny's not even paying attention. He obviously doesn't give a shit. So we've got Mosaic. We got some more Mosaic. We got some stuff that I told Vinny to try and snag before it sold out again, and they sold out. 2021 Select. I've got more of these coming, and 3 rookies and stars. So I have some stuff to open, at least to create some content for people to watch.
I did a box opening too.
I don't want to know about you opening Pandora's box. Lucky Charms, freaking snack bars or whatever the hell they're called.
I sort of showed these the 2 tins I found out there. That's been it.
Well, I have some Donruss too, but I'm debating on whether or not to open these. And I don't know what it is. But, normal blasters, they're fairly light.
Mm-hmm.
These things are fucking heavy. I mean, it's 90 cards, which is quite a few considering. But 90 cards does not weigh this much. And I can't put it into context. Because, this is 67. These are bottom heavy because of where they put the actual cards. But comparing the weight between this and this is like 1.5 times the weight of this. And they're all 3 like that. I don't know. It's weird. So, yeah.
No, I hope to get down there this weekend to Virginia and see what they've got. I'm jonesing to bust open the update. And I might do that tomorrow with Naomi on video. So I've got the hanger and the blaster. I'm just like, I want to open. It's the rare time where it's like it's starting to percolate. I'm like, let's get something in hand. And I mean, I've got plenty of shit to open. I found, and again, I've got the box, like the one, not the shoe box, but the old school. You put your set in there, the 792 goes in there, and the side close. I've got the 97.8 Pinnacle totally certified hockey packs in there. I'm like, I could open those, but I'm like, I really don't want to. A lot of that Pacific, there's just a ton of that stuff what I want to open, but I'd rather do it when we get Jeff back on the show, and just like, here, you want to take a walk down memory lane?
Right.
Because I know how excited he is when he starts talking about that. Because with like the uncut, the jumbo masks, he's just like, we had these, and I'm just like, yeah, there's one right there.
But I mean, I still have a blaster of Prestige. I still have the multi packs of last year's or 2021 Prism that Vinny and I have been sitting on for a while, that we've been talking about trying to get a video together to open, which has like been pulling teeth. I've got the 2020 Select courtesy of Ty.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the 2 hangers of Prism, which are reserved for future chasing the hits. And it's one of those in which I started thinking, come national, I'm shipping like all the stuff, like gifts and all that kind of stuff. I'm shipping that stuff to Vinny, so I don't have to actually take it on the plane. But perfect opportunity to gather the stuff that we have, make sure when we get together at national, we have all the stuff currently in hand, so it saves a little bit of shipping costs, and start getting ready for what the next episodes are going to be. So, not that a ton of people watch those episodes. We don't do it for the views. We do it for fun, and it gives us something to do. But it got to the point to where it started getting a little pricey.
I will appease Eric.
It's kind of a sleek little design there.
This is the first time I've had one of these in hand. I have to go back and look at the odds, but I want to say these were one of like the magazine, like the one per magazine box, or 1 in 23. But I love the doofix, and then you have like the coaster in the middle, basically. So, and again, nothing, a little write up, good size write up on back, or in back, or on the back, whatever. But only thing I don't like, again, you got them in the blues. On the back, you got them with the Hartford logo, without the old tops. What tops used to do was like put it on the bar or the banner, like trade it or whatever, or put that on the side. So I like that, but again, the same guy that I ended up buying a lot of stuff from probably like a year ago, been listing again, and just sort of like, well, if it's cheap enough, I'll toss it in there, especially if there's something like that, where it's something I don't have. And well, that's what team you went to, Baz. Shannon was what? I don't know if he's somebody or with somebody before the Blues, but then Whalers, and then I think it was Detroit for pretty much the duration. I don't know if he might have finished his career somewhere else, but yeah, we've got like
Prism Soccer.
Just a pack of those friends. I have, and I don't want to make myself big, but I have no fucking clue, and you may have some clue on whatever the.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I mean, I don't have a clue.
Yeah, that's like random, Dave. What year is that?
99. So I don't know if it's the first or the second.
Oh,
yeah,
Series 1 or Series 2?
Baz, because if the Whalers moved right away, it would have been like within a year or two. I think they moved to Carolina. I don't know what year exactly, but they were not long for Hartford. It was inevitable, Dopey. That was probably one of the worst kept secrets in the NHL. Anytime I'd read the NHL rumors, it was like pretty much what are the Rangers going to give up to get him, because they're just bidding against themselves. Because Kane had, I think, a full no trade clause. And there's been some movement. Today's been a big day because I think the trade deadline's on Thursday. So it's been a good chunk of movement, but Chickern hasn't moved from Arizona. Carlson hasn't moved. Timo Meyer moved yesterday from San Jose to New Jersey. They gave up a haul. Generat moved from Nashville to Tampa.
Don't care.
And then Dallas didn't do anything. They gave season tickets to the Ranch, and the Ranch gave a Patreon subscription to them. So
really don't care.
I think who else? Again, just minor. Toronto's been flipping some people here and there, but when everybody's
this is random. I happen to realize that you guys may have remembered the update hanger I found in the wild, however long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy Pena, blue, parallel, and that is the actual rookie card. That is not the rookie cup. Not huge, but hanger is $13-14. That right there paid for it technically, if I were to have sold it.
Well, he's what, Astros?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a all rookie type year, I think, or close to it.
Pretty sure he won Rookie of the Year.
Did he?
No, he got World Series MVP. That's what it was. If I'm not mistaken. He got something. Somebody correct me.
And that's the worst part. It's like, yeah, right during the time you're following the stuff within, I won't even say like 2 weeks. Especially during like a football season, that stuff becomes like that could be 30 years ago. I don't remember, I don't recall, because then again, without having a subscription for cable / MLB whatever ticket, dish, I'm not watching the World Series. If I listen to a game, it's got to be something where I'm really invested in it. Padres are in it, and again, the Phillies were in it, but trying to find a Phillies broadcast is tough enough as it is. I was hoping Crypto Grifter would just trade his Doge and get seats behind home plate, set up his phone, and then just call me, and then I could just listen to the game through the speaker. But he didn't want to move on the Doge, so on the radio dial, I had to look for the games and no dice. So, but yeah, there's a couple more guys probably going to get moved trade deadline wise, but like I said, everybody's so fucking against the cap, and it's a hard cap. It's you go over and you're fucked. It's not like MLB where we can go over and game or NBA. It's a hard cap. So people trying to finagle shit. There's still going to be a few more trades, but
somebody put Eric in timeout, busting out here with his all caps, telling people to mute me.
Well,
this is my show.
What should they do then?
Well, we all know.
Out. Hit that like button. Hammer that motherfucker.
You all know Eric?
Come on, folks. Let's see him.
Yeah.
It ain't changing. 13 people in here. Come on. Let's see him.
Get him out.
I know we haven't started talking about the subject yet. Last week we didn't have an issue because everybody was enjoying Dave and I being a little fired up. If you were only kidding, you wouldn't have said it. The truth comes out.
And in all caps. That's a Santiago sports move. That's very aggressive. That's not content.
Yeah, how dare you fucking yell at me, Eric? That's unacceptable. On my show. Most people aren't listening this time. So it's no longer working anymore. Go eat a chocolate stick, Eric.
Yeah.
Okay, Ty, that's a little much.
Yeah, come on now. Breathe into the paper bag. Breathe into the paper bag.
We were in rare form last week, to say the least. So Vinny, come out of hiding. Please and thank you. Because you sure the hell don't want to carry this show, because I ain't got much to add on this subject.
Yeah, you don't want me to talk anymore. The viewers usually fucking plummet. It's like a mudslide in California. They just fucking go away. Sink into the earth.
It's not that bad. He's back. Smile. I at least got something. It took you a while, but thank you. Damn it, this is my show. Do as I know. Ghost. Ghost. I'm going to muzzle you.
Oh.
You are taking away from Vinny's opportunity to contribute to this conversation. I need you to go and sniff your butt for the next 30 minutes and leave him alone. Please. Go bother your mother. Something.
She ain't here.
Oh.
Well, that's the freaking problem.
She's on her way home now with C from practice.
Yeah, I forgot that practice was always on Tuesday, so that never helps the situation. So we'll try and prolong this a little bit longer before we jump into the subject, because like I said, I really don't have much to add other than the blurb that Dave threw out in our little group chat. The fact of kind of what's going on, and I just kind of perused over it. I'm like, yeah, this is a perfect opportunity for Dave and Vinny to have a good conversation about this. And I'll sit back here and keep quiet. That's not working so well right now. It is what it is. Oh, well. We can always talk about something else in the meantime. Not sure what we can talk about. Other than the fact I would like to go back and advise Ty. I'm not taking all the wax and stuff to open a national. It's not going to sit here long enough. It's not going to wait that long.
No,
it's not. Especially since it's sitting out for me to see. But I'm waiting for the other mosaic and the rookies and stars to come in, and I'm going to figure out what I'm going to open, when I'm going to open it, and I'm going to spread it out. There is no St. Patty's Day wreath. Sorry. My wife isn't that holiday driven when it comes to swapping them out.
if you don't like videos and you don't like posts, I'm sure you got that. Everybody loves one-on-ones. Everybody loves Nike.
Not everybody, Dave. It's player worn. I hate it. It's garbage.
As we've discussed before, though,
I know it's rookie. It's rookie. I know.
rarely get that.
You know I'm giving you shit.
Oh, I know, but there's been a couple times where if you had like a, I'm trying to think if Kurt Warner had something 99. I don't know if he had anything game related.
Don't get me to Lion for 99 for him. I mean, he only had like what 4, 5, 6 rookie cards.
The Pacific Collector's Edge seemed to jump on him, but and then a couple
Score supplemental, I think he has a rookie.
Upper Deck Encore might have had it, or Ultimate. No, was there an Ultimate Victory? Might have been just Victory. But
of course, the big one, of course, was Contenders.
Yep. Somebody along the way had one of those, like the rookie that wasn't part of the rookie photo shoot. I thought had a rookie jersey that was actually game worn.
It's a month.
And it was like the NT
I'm only calling you guys because you're
flawless. So it was again something semi-recent, within the last decade or so, but rare that you see that, especially nowadays.
Yep. Be careful, you may hear my wife in the background. She's on the phone, a little fired up. I won't go into detail or context, but all right. I'm gonna move myself up to the top again temporarily until hopefully better half arrives and finds a way to help cool down the dog. But yeah,
that'll happen.
Out of the clear blue.
Better half help me in my time of need. How you jest, Steve? How you jest?
Hey, Vinny. Just for context, you better hope she doesn't watch this on replay. Am I gonna have to cut out that little part of the show?
You play it. Why not?
I'm sure it's shown this before.
That's gonna cost you though, Vinny. Just thought I'd.
Everything cost me, Steve. Everything's cost me.
That's a red label.
And then Paul.
Not backdoor, I hope.
This is what I hated.
It's not the red, which it not always is, depending on the sport.
And that's the thing. It's something that irritates the shit out of me because you see it in all three sports. And I'm like, I don't know what's what. Because you've seen people like legit Griffey collectors, and they pulled it out of a fucking box, and it's looked like that. And you've also seen the red foil ones, or the gold foil ones, or whatever, and they've been pulled out of a box. Like, now you're really throwing wrenches in the old gears, because you're like, it's bad enough because you have shit that's backdoored and different numbered, and the font or whatever's on it different, and now what? My advice is always pay accordingly. Just pay what you're.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you can get something for semi cheap, like that was, I think, like under $10 a long while ago. Why not? it's Dougie Waite, if it's Marty Reasoner, if it's Ryan Smith, Tommy Salo, Mike Comrie, any of those guys, we're rolling. But yeah, I'm not. Roger, I think I got 1 to 50 or 100 from Australia, and I think I paid close to 100 on it. And I'm like, that's close to what I like the absolute max. So I'm like, I really don't want to do that. But again, knowing Gold Label, you like the shine.
And they fluctuate. There's like the gaps are so large.
Yeah.
In the price point for Red Label. I don't understand. I don't get it.
No.
Because I've paid, as much as, $50-$60. Granted, not on the same level playing field as, a better hockey player or baseball for that matter. But then I've also seen sometimes they go for like $16 and $17, and you're like, unlike Dave, who's like, I'm not going to let somebody get one this cheap. I don't do that. Not that it's happened frequently enough for Gold Label stuff for me to say, hey, Dave, you may want to pounce on this. Unlike the other night when I came across the Extreme Limited, and I'm like, yeah, hey, Dave. That's not something that you see every day.
No.
Red labels have a tendency to pop up a little bit more frequently these days, it seems. But, the Extreme Limited number to 24, it's like, I already have mine. This is a pretty good price to start with, Dave. And, of course, you jumped on it.
And the guy's got a McCollum, too, that I've got, I think.
22 of them?
I was going to say at least 2 or 3. Because that's the same thing. That one that, I don't know if it was that Leximo or whatever, they had, must have been like 05, 06, a ton of the Pacific stuff on and I don't know if they were the ones that bought the back stock or whatever, but it's like, man, they'd have auction after auction, and they wouldn't put up the commons. It'd just be like rookies, semi-stars, stars. So I'm sitting there and trying to bid on Ron Johnson, David Gerard, Joey Harrington, John Henderson, just anyone I can, because I'm like, I know this stuff. It's been difficult to find, and we're only 4 years after the release. So I'm like, if I can get it now of any of these guys, I'm going to be happy, because if any of them do anything down the road, I'm not like you're sitting on a gold mine, but it's like, okay, I think this way. There's got to be a group of other people that start thinking this way too. So, and of course, Gerard's probably the one that did the most out of it, but not like I got Moss or Brady or Emmett or any of those folks. But yeah, saw that you've sent that. I'm like, fuck. Just like with the exclusives, it's like those are tough cards to turn down when they're a hanger box. It's like, do I want that, or do I want a card numbered to nothing? Gotta take the surefire.
Yep, which I get. I was surprised I stumbled across it though, too, in the process, because 90% of the time as I'm doing my searches, I mean, I thumb through pretty quick, but I've found myself starting to slow down just a little bit, making sure that I'm paying attention to the picture and the title, and if the title indicates something but the picture seems a little off, I'll at least go check it out and see, maybe they have it listed wrong, to where maybe I could snag something that somebody screwed up on.
Get something on the slot.
Yep. But that one I stumbled across, and I'm like, yep, already have mine. And I got mine fairly cheap. less than I think that price was, if I'm not mistaken. But even then, for the buy it now best offer that it was listed for, still reasonable
Oh yeah.
for something that's 10 years old, numbered to 24, that you don't see often, and it's a Hall of Famer at least too. So
Yeah, I don't even know if I dickered or I just went $1 down. I mean, I was just like, the price was just like, ew, how do you fucking
it didn't. Yeah, it didn't matter.
No.
I mean, it didn't take you long. Well, I think I sent it the night before, and then the following day, you had told me that it was acquired. So he comes back. He looks like he's about to say something. Then he goes back on mute, turns off the video. It's like, are you good? You're not good, or you have something you wanted to add? Say something.
Hi.
Silence.
It's actually quiet.
There it comes. Here it comes.
So talk softly. Whisper. Vinny, whisper. So I'm gonna go ahead and move you back up here. So you can at least say a few things as it relates to what's going on with the networks. So have at it.
So, when I first moved here from Pennsylvania, there was always, we are Fox Sports, we are Detroit. And you were like, okay, Fox Sports, same thing in Pennsylvania. They were on KDKA Channel 2 for the longest of times in the 80s. Then they went to like, where's Bob Lewis when you need him? They had like a secondary cable sports network, but it was like an ESPN for Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It had all the Pittsburgh stuff. Before I know it, we're into Root Sports. Now I think it's AT&T Sports in Pennsylvania, and we're on Bally Sports here in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
So all these major labels are now gone. So
Yep.
there's not, it's like they sold to all these small subsidiaries and everything was looking good because there are these big fat contracts. But now they can't keep up their end and we're at risk of losing coverage. That would suck.
You muted her from being able to say hello. How dare you?
I know she yelled at me. She's got her fries to eat now. She doesn't like pepperoni rolls. No, thank you, baby. Yeah, she doesn't eat pepperoni rolls that I made. So, you'll watch her if we go to eat pizza at the National. She skins her pizza. She basically eats the dough and the cheeses.
She eats her pizzas.
Yeah, she eats her pizzas. So she eats just the dough and the sauce. She puts the cheese on the side. And then if the cheese is good, she'll eat the cheese later. But if the cheese is not good, she'll feed it to the dog. You. You've hurt your Uncle Dave's heart. I think he's having a mental breakdown. I've never seen Dave in that position before. When it comes to food, I think he's hurt. Look what you've done to him.
And quiet.
He's quiet
for that long period of time.
Look at him. Look what you've done.
I'm sorry. Why'd you tell them that? That's your fault.
It's the truth. We speak the truth on the IRP.
He doesn't eat hot dogs.
Everybody's aware.
And he doesn't eat pickles.
Well, I don't eat
Yeah.
bologna either.
Yeah, he doesn't even bologna either. He doesn't even use ranch. Now that's a true crime.
Bologna and ranch?
Yes! Hold on.
That's freaking gross.
Dude, she makes a sandwich with cheese, potato chips, ranch, and white bread.
Ranch.
Okay, see, I
Yeah,
can do chips on a sandwich. I
Yeah,
can do
but there's
chips on a
nothing
sandwich.
else. It's cheese, chips, ranch, and white bread.
No, it's I gotta have some meat on that sandwich.
No meat.
Yeah, stop them!
But it's un-American for you to not eat a hot dog, especially if you go to
Nope.
a ball game. I mean,
Nope.
come on, dude.
I'll have a hot pretzel or nachos. They'll substitute.
You don't want to see what I eat then, because I'm fucking a garbage disposal. I will take the coal, and it's just the cheese dogs. So don't get like it's like your fucking generic like 40 cents a pack like crappy hot dogs. But like the cheesy Oscar Mayer, or when Ballpark made them, because I haven't seen Ballpark cheese dogs in forever. I will eat those cold. I will sit there and just mow them down.
I
And
used
then
to eat cold hot dogs. Used to.
Oh, they're so good.
I
And I
was.
mean,
Go ahead, Dave.
it's literally like the coroner is waiting around the corner like Snidely Whiplash, like laughing and giggling because it's like, eat another one, fatty. And it's like the heart's like, hey man, you might want to try like a banana or something. I mean, orange, a kiwi. I don't just you don't need to keep Oscar Mayer in business. Bologna though, I don't. Oscar Mayer bologna? No. Cotto salami, the cooked salami. Oh my lord,
That's a difference.
I will. You will see that I will have sandwiches there that I made for the trip down, because I want sandwiches during the national, and I want people to smell that and be like, "The hell's that?" Like, it's a sandwich, you losers. Oh,
See, as a kid, I used to eat bologna sandwiches. But as I got older, it's like, how in the world did I eat this shit? But when I worked for Subway, yes, I worked for Subway. Certain stores had bologna for the kids pack. Let's not talk about $5 footlong. But the bologna,
that jingle obviously was burned in my brain.
their bologna for the kids pack was freaking phenomenal.
Oh God, yes.
Like because I was in management, I got a footlong for my meal.
Yep.
And because I was in management, I could pretty much do whatever the hell I wanted to.
Oh,
a
yeah,
lot of the sandwiches and stuff that you see now, I created that shit long before it was even a thing. But I would make a foot-long bologna sandwich and just put salt and pepper on it and freaking be in heaven. Because the bologna at Subway was fantastic.
Top notch.
It was good shit.
I've had my fill of bologna and mortadella. At age 6, my grandma said I went on strike. I never ate a hot dog or bologna after that. She said I used to live on them. That's all she said I'd eat them all the time, and then one day you just stopped. There was no, hey. Now if bologna's on a hoagie and there's a bunch of other meat and I can't taste it, mortadella's on a sandwich and there's a bunch of other stuff and I can't taste it, I'll eat it, but not by itself. Can't do it.
Subway, a guy I graduated with after he came back from college, worked there. And we go down there every night because then we'd go to another friend's house and play video games like 1 in the morning and go to work the next day. He's like, anybody want to sweep and mop, they get a free foot long with whatever's on it. Do you know how many times it's food? And when I said anything, because nobody else was jumping and there's only 3 of us there and one was like a cripple. I'm like, does this mean like, he's like, whatever you want, I don't care. I just don't want to do that out there. And it was a small lobby area. It wasn't like you're doing a restaurant that's got like seating for like 200. This literally had seating for like 25. So it took like 10 minutes. I'm like, 10 minutes of work for a sandwich that would probably cost like $30 every day. Anytime he worked, I'm like, yeah, closer. It's like, yeah. Okay. I was like, okay. Don't worry about sweeping and mopping. I got you. And those things were probably akin to what they have now. I mean, it was like 6 slices, 8 slices of pepper jack, the Southwest, every meat. I didn't care. I said, whatever you got for meat, double order of it. And I mean, you couldn't even hold it without it just like slopping. Like, put more pickles on there than you have in a jar. But mustard and the Southwest, and let's roll. It was just heaven, because then you'd eat half, pretty much be dead. I'm like, well, now I've got lunch for work the next day. And then I still would have stuff left over because you only eat half of that. It's so fucking big. And like, this is perfect.
See, I always ended up with 2 because, like I said, in management, somebody screws up cutting a piece of bread. It goes in the I'll call it in the trash, but it's in the write-off bin.
Yep.
So it's one of those in which it's very easy for those who have not worked at Subway. At the end of or at close, bread has to be counted every night. Everything that's baked, everything that's still frozen, proofed, whatever, it all has to be counted. And it has to be entered from an inventory count perspective. But, like I said, when you're in management, it's one of those, it's very easy to sit there and be like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of bread being written off when there's only 5. So technically you could get another sandwich. And back when because I worked at, how old was I? I worked there for a little over 2 years in my later teens. I was an assistant manager, and at the time, my buddy and I used to work out all the time. We worked out 6 days a week. So at lunch, I would have roasted chicken breast, which they don't have anymore, and pisses my wife off, but I digress. But roasted chicken breast on a foot long, light ranch, salt and pepper, no cheese. And that's what I would eat for lunch. Well, when I left, I took double roasted chicken breast on a foot long, the side of light ranch, and I just take it home. So my refrigerator would start kind of getting a little filled up with bread and roasted chicken breast and everything else. But I mean, eventually I ate it, but it's one of those in which when you're working out and loading up on protein and everything else, you're going to do whatever you need to do in order to, do what you need to do. But yeah, all the crap that you see nowadays, without the new dressings and all that other kind of crap, because we were only limited to the dressings that we had. But a lot of that stuff, I created that shit long before it even was thought of. My meatball was the best. Chopped up jalapenos On the bottom, one line of ranch, cheese, meatballs, light sauce. Light sauce is the key because, no offense, I don't want to be wearing the shit. One line of ranch on top of the meatballs, salt and pepper, Parmesan, oregano, a line of oil, more cheese, into the microwave, melt the cheese. Man, that shit was good. Try get somebody to make that for you at Subway. They'd look at you like you were crazy because they're not going to sit there and cut up the jalapenos for you.
No, when I get that was before the new couple that we went there the other day. I told Naomi before, I think it was a doubleheader we watched or what. I'm like, you know what, we're gonna go Subway. I fucking haven't been there in like 3-4 years. And during like the football season, all you'd see was like the dumb Tony Romo commercial with Steph Curry and like the Philly cheesesteak and the Outlaw or the Monster, and I'm like, okay, these are ones that really look like I've made. Like you said, I had them made for me. You made them. I need to go there because they look good. I know it's not going to be as good, but I need to just clear the air. Let's see, clear the air with Subway. Let's go there and see what it's about.
I will say one thing. I hate the fact that they no longer have regular ranch. It's now peppercorn ranch.
Which,
in small doses, it's okay.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's not what you want.
It's in small doses, it's okay. But it's like the issue that they keep running into is they keep refreshing and refreshing and refreshing. Yep. And it's like you're taking away some of the norms of what people have liked forever and a day.
Yeah, when you take away the foundation, you're like, well, this block I really don't care about. Well, right here, we don't need that roasted chicken. Yeah. Ranch.
So, I mean, yeah, they get rid of that. They used to have 2 different Italians, creamy and golden Italian. Now I don't think they have either. And we had one customer, how we're talking about food, and we're supposed to be talking about baseball networks and shit. I don't know. But then again, case in point, this is how we roll. I was a floater to a degree. I had a store for the longest time. I transferred to another store and was there for a long period of time. And then I kind of started floating because, let's face it, a lot of the other managers sucked. And I'm the only one here on the screen. Go figure. But at where I started was one of the busiest stores, if not the busiest store that the owners had in their chain of stores. Most people probably know Subway is franchised. So it's owned by individuals or individual companies or whatever. But the store I worked at, it was the only one in that city that our owner group owned. And it was busy. Like lunchtime was freaking crazy. Crazy busy. And we had a shit ton of regulars. And hot sauce.
That particular one, that you will see me with multiple bottles of this. Because I do not want to be without. I don't like the Tabasco. It's too vinegary.
It is.
That one is not. And I'm like, Anyway, as you were.
Regular customer, she ordered 2 different kinds of sandwiches. It was one or the other. And she would come in, and depending on where I was, if I was the bread and meat cheese person, then all I'd have to do was look at her and be like, which one today?
Mm-hmm.
And or if I was on veggies, I knew exactly the way that she made them. Exactly what she wanted on her sandwich. She never had to tell me. If it was this sandwich, I knew exactly the way it was meant. If it was this sandwich, I knew exactly the way that it was meant. Well, she was a creamy Italian. Well, from her, as far as the dressing is concerned.
Ah,
But what's interesting is you look at after all these years and they've changed all this stuff. Let's face it, she was in like her 60s. So she's probably dead. So it really doesn't matter.
Well, geez, Steve.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it was freaking 20 plus years ago.
she could
You
be
might
one
be
of our
living the good life in the San Fernando Valley at age 89. Come on.
Yeah, well, it's possible. She was quite the bitch if she was
They
in one
lived
of
the
those games.
longest. I'm sure
So,
I'll experience the same thing.
but from her perspective, you get rid of something like that. You've been used to it. It's the same thing that's your liking. You go into a store after so many years and you want to order what you normally order, and you're being told, well, we ain't got that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one thing to make changes or improvements or additions, but you got to take into consideration the people who used to frequent the restaurant before. You get rid of all that, you run the risk of losing customers because they've come to expect certain things.
Yeah.
If it's no longer there, like I said, it's great if now you want to add cucumbers as an option as far as, the veggies are concerned. You want to add additional cheeses. Okay. Different flavored breads. Okay. Some additional meat options. Okay. A couple extra new dressings. But why would you get rid of some of the original stuff
Mm-hmm.
and completely make it non-existent? Like right now, I won't eat Subway because I'm not a fan of peppercorn ranch. I get 2 different sandwiches at Subway, and each one I want ranch dressing on it. Light ranch. I don't want freaking. I don't want this shit.
In other words, you don't want what Seed has done to her sandwich.
I have to specify 1 line of ranch. Because if not, it's like this.
Yeah.
Per process, it's 3 swipes depending on the stream. But from me, it's like I can't. We'll eat it on occasion because my kid likes it still, and it's turkey and cheese, pickles and olives. That's their sandwich. So it's not. There is no dressing. So very easy from their perspective.
Yeah.
But they get rid of my wife's favorite meat. They get rid of my favorite dressing. And it's like,
Why go?
what the fuck? Not to mention, there's times in which I seriously want to tell these people, like, can I please go back there and make my own fucking sandwich? You are taking forever. So just to give you an idea, when I worked there, from the time of salutation, hi, welcome to Subway. Not that we did that all the time, but from hi, welcome to Subway. What can I get for you? From that point in time, from start to finish, had to be in under 2 minutes. That's cutting the bread, cheese, meat, veggies, everything, like start to finish. That's checked out, freaking next customer. And I'm like, they have definitely lessened their qualifications because I can stand here and wait for freaking 10 minutes for them to make 2 sandwiches. It's like, holy hell, can I please go back there and do this myself?
That was with
And
us.
don't you dare ask them, hey man, can I get a U-cut? You worked at Subway at the time, it was the U. You cut the bread as the U. The top comes out. So you stuff the shit inside. You want to know why they stopped the U-cut? Because too many
University of
dumbasses.
Miami?
Do what?
University of Miami?
No. Because too many dumbasses who worked there couldn't actually get it right.
Well,
And too many people complained about it. But don't ask them to do a U-cut. Like if you want a meatball sandwich and you prefer it in the U-cut because it holds the meatballs, that was the whole reason kind of why it was developed.
Yep.
Like you get the blind stare because they have no fucking idea what the hell you're talking about.
Now I gotta ask that every time I go in there. Could you please do the U-cut?
They will have no idea. They will
I'll
have no
enjoy it,
idea.
though.
Yeah, they will have no idea what you're talking about.
what?
Because even I still worked there at the time they did a lot of the initial changes, the flavored bread, the change in the cut. Like I actually had to go to a freaking, what was it? A 6-hour freaking training deal because I was in management. We had to go and learn all the new ways of doing the shit. The cut, the stacking of the meat, the counts of the meat, the placement of the yeah. That extensive. And of course, you have people who come in and you start cutting it the new way, and they're looking at you, wait, what are you doing? What's going on, Mark? Like, oh yeah, this is the new way. Can you cut it the old way? So even a little bit after the fact, we would still have people who got used to it. But if they ordered a meatball, they still asked for the U-cut. Surprised my wife's not looking at me like I'm crazy because she worked at Subway too at a point.
I don't even know why you're talking about Subway.
Well, because we talk about food. We like to talk about food.
I love some food too, but I'm not going to talk about Subway.
Talking about change.
Maybe talk about those awesome ribs I made tonight. Or the awesome dinners I make every night. Y'all should talk about that, not Subway. What? I'm just saying. I make some yummy food. Are you disagreeing with me?
No, I'm not saying anything because I'm afraid if I say anything, it may come back to haunt me. So I'm just.
You're just supposed to say your food is amazing.
I'm just kind of sitting here, kind of shaking my head, nodding.
You should just say your food is amazing.
No, we've got to be. We can't pigeonhole. You say your food is great, but it doesn't register on like a national level.
But you never tell me when you like something.
That's not necessarily true, Dave.
Well, I'm just saying it's not like she's made food for us. So we can't say like, well, I'm sure she makes great food because again, you would otherwise let us know in some way, shape, form, or fashion.
My wife is a good cook. She makes a lot of things very, very well that are quite delectable.
Thank you.
But
Steve lives to see another day.
The ribs don't count.
All you did was cook them. They were pre-seasoned, pre-marinated.
That's the first time I've made any pre-packaged ribs, though. Just for the record.
That is 100% correct. I'm just stating that all you did was you cooked them, but you didn't cook them.
Tonight, but you could still just put something in the oven and cook it and fuck it up.
Well, this is true.
Sloan does it on a regular basis.
This is true. So, anyways, I guess we can go back to the subject now. We've talked about food.
The Subway.
Vinny may have an opportunity to talk a little bit more. I know he provided his initial feedback. Anything more you want to add to that initial statement, Vinny, as it pertains to your locale.
Well, my biggest worry is they're going to go back to forcing people to do streaming services to watch local sports. So you're going to have to pay $12.99 a month just to see your local baseball, football, and no, let's see.
Well,
Not
could
so
be
much
college,
football.
college.
It'll be basketball, hockey, and baseball.
And I mean, if you got like Central Michigan or whatever, and they're not on ESPN or something, they're on that. It's like, well,
Yeah.
I gotta pay that to watch them there.
And you're lucky if you get the Big Ten Network or, the ACC or whatever, if it's in your region. You're lucky if it's in your cable package. Because sometimes you luck out and they're not a nationally televised game. It's like trying to watch the Steelers here. They've been on plenty of times. They're the game that's on CBS. They will black out the game and put on infomercials for 2.5 hours if the Lions are playing at the same time.
Which is stupid.
Because they know probably more people would watch the Steelers than the Lions. And it aggravates the bejesus out of me. Then it also comes down to most people, well, I shouldn't say most people, but the new trend in the hobby is people are like, whatever. It's like the thing I sent you guys the other day where there was like a 10-year-old kid. They asked him, what do you PC? And he goes, I'm in it for the money. Does he watch the games? No. Do they care about the games? No. Do they know anything about the athletes that they're buying these cards? No. Well, he balled out. How do you know? Did you watch the game? No, I saw the highlights on ESPN. Okay, I could watch 2 or 3 baseball games a night and then go and watch the Major League Baseball Network and see all the other stuff and get the highlights. But if I could watch 3 games, I'm watching 3 games. And like when the NHL, when I could see on my app that's on my TV, it says, guess what? The Penguins are on tonight. And the Red Wings are on at 10 o'clock. I got 2 hockey games I could watch. Hey, tonight the Boston Bruins are playing the Caps. Hot dang, get to watch the Caps. Toronto's playing the Oilers on Hockey Night in Canada. There we go. That was one of the best things when I moved to Michigan is they get the CBC and you get the 2 games every Saturday night, which is great. Before the streaming services like Peacock and ESPN Plus and having to pay an arm and a leg for the NHL package, you got to see at least 2 games every Saturday night. And you were hoping it wasn't all Canadian teams. You were hoping one of the Canadian teams was playing somebody that you really liked. Because back then, I hate to say it, Montreal didn't excite me very much, other than Carey Price. I Calgary Flames, sorry, didn't excite me very much. Vancouver, I liked Vancouver once. I wasn't a big the Sundin brothers. I wasn't a big fan. But like Brock Besser and the guys they got now, I don't mind watching them. I like the Tampa Bay games. But all that stuff is nationally televised. You lose your local stuff, like I said, some people won't care. But if you can't watch baseball in the summer, that's un-American. I don't care what you say about bologna and hot dogs. If you can't watch baseball all summer, there's a problem. And if you can't watch hockey all winter, there's a problem. That's un-American and un-Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
And even with soccer now, soccer is all – you have your Premier League mornings on USA and NBC sometimes. The rest is all streaming. If you want to watch La Liga, you got to be on CBS. You got to have Peacock to have the Premier League. The Championship League is on another thing. Syria's on another one. You got to have 4 streaming packages if you want to see everybody play soccer. It's out there. You get what you get. You get Premier League mornings. That's it. They have Telemundo. You can get more games on Telemundo in Spanish than you can on regular TV. At least they'll play the I forget which is it, La Liga. That's the league in Spain.
I think so.
And then you have the one in France.
Yeah, like the Bundesliga or whatever the
That's
hell it
the
is.
German. That's the German one. That used to be on Fox. When we had Fox Sports Detroit, Bundesliga was on Fox. You could watch them all the time. I don't know. I never saw them on Bally Sports yet, so I don't know if the German league's on there. And I know MLS is on ESPN.
Yep.
And then sometimes you'll get USL soccer, which is one tier below MLS. So that's tier 2 soccer. So you got the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, DCFC, those kind of teams. So you lose a lot of local stuff too. The high school sports. If you lose those things, those channels cover all that. You're not going to get all the high school championship games, and I know a lot of people don't watch that, but a lot of places that's big time stuff.
Oh God.
Yeah. But if you're relying on the big networks for everything, you're not going to see. You're losing all your local stuff. And if you're usually where you grow up is where you end up being maybe 50% of the time. So if you can watch the Tigers, that sucks. If you got to wait, if you can't watch them on a daily basis because they're on, say, 6 days out of 7 days, you got to wait for a game to come on Fox or ESPN. And ESPN plays what? Sunday night baseball, maybe Monday night baseball, Wednesday night baseball, 3 days a week. That's not much. Fox does some Saturday games, an afternoon game on Sunday. They'll have it on TBS. You're not getting the coverage like with everything else. It's like with the Major League Baseball network, you get a couple random games every week or every day. Spring training games.
You get a rare YouTube game every so often.
Yeah. What are we going to end up going to have to go to Netflix and get a subscription to that to watch local baseball? Or what's the basketball going to do? Got to get the NFL or NHL, NBA, and MLB packages to be able to watch local. Where it's moving? Don't know.
Almost done.
And that's where the problem is. You not like they care, but you've got old fans. They want to just turn on whatever the hell they've got, Dish, Direct. I'm trying to think what the old jumbo satellite was from like the early 90s. That huge one you'd put in your yard or whatever, like regular cable companies that are out there. They just want to turn on their cable to whatever channel it's been forever and watch the game. And now with this, I actually jotted down notes. I don't want to jive and not have like actual pertinent information. But the Diamond Sports Group, and this is the company that owns Bally and Root. I'm just going to go over the synopsis, and then I'll get into sort of my thoughts or dovetail them together with Benny's. On the 15th of February, missed a $140 million debt payment, which is their interest payment to the brand holders. And they own 19 of the regional sports networks. and they have $8.6 billion in debt. And they could be filing Chapter 11, or that's what they're setting up for, like, a pre-bankruptcy thing. I'll get to the teams in a moment. MLB has 14 under the deal with Diamond. They bought this for $10.6 billion in 2019, and then now they've shaved off more than $5 billion of it, the actual value, because of the viewers' viewing habits, which again changed from watching cable and dish or being subscribed to them, because what Vinny said, everybody's going to the streaming services. The only good part, people don't get blacked out, hopefully, and that's what people are hoping for with the streaming. But again, then you have to go to streaming, and you're paying more for, again, just something specific. They have to make, the Diamond Sports Group has to make $1.8 billion to pay off the MLB teams that are under their contract to make the first quarter payments. But right now they only have, according to this report, is on like the bizjournals.com, I think. I can send out the link if anybody actually does want to read it, because it was mostly specific to the Kansas City Royals, but then I went back and started looking at some other stuff too. But they only have $585 million on hand now. Teams affected: MLB, Arizona, Atlanta, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Detroit, Kansas City, the Los Angeles Angels, Miami, Milwaukee, Minnesota, San Diego, St. Louis, Texas, and Tampa Bay. NBA, it's going to be some overlap, but that's to be expected. Atlanta, Charlotte, Cleveland, Dallas, Detroit, Indy, the Clippers, Memphis, Milwaukee, Minnesota, New Orleans, OKC, Orlando, Phoenix, and San Antonio. And then for the NHL, Anaheim, Arizona, Carolina, Columbus. So Brad's Blue Jackets are fucked. Dallas, Detroit, Florida, Kings, Minnesota, Nashville, St. Louis, and Tampa. So it was odd for me, because I thought under this canopy, Seattle, Pittsburgh, and Colorado would be part of this troublesome group, just because they're on route. So I don't know if route branched away, but it doesn't look good. Obviously, the payment, there was like the 30-day grace. I think it was a 30-day grace period after the 15th. So I mean, what's that? 2 weeks into March, they gotta have their shit together, and it just doesn't look like it's gonna happen. And I miss the days of like a Jefferson Pilot, Raycom. Up here we had Midwest Sports Channel, MSC, and you would have all this unique programming that was sort of stuff before like ESPN2 came along, especially ESPN2, when you just got sort of saddled with some goofball like equestrian riding or whatever, something just to fill the time. But you'd see, I remember on the Sunshine Network out of Tampa, when we first got DirecTV, it was like 2002, September 2002, because I wanted to the ticket. I wanted to get the NFL ticket, and I wanted to watch Cleveland. I wanted to watch San Diego. So I think it was 6:20 through 6:56, 6:58. Oh, huge. Absolutely huge for Florida. And that's pretty much anything in the deep south. But Sunshine Network was where I saw a lot of wrestling at the time. That was just before like TNA wrestling. They had some like just independent stuff down there. Sanjay Dutt was working down there. I'm like, oh, who the hell is this? Amazing Red was down there. Again, probably to anybody that's watching, now or in the archive. Fucking who the hell's that? But it's again some solid names from the indies that made a good mark in TNA. But you had that. You had boat racing. You had fishing. You had all this football. I was watching high school football out of Florida. I'm like, this is awesome for a sports guy that just wants to. If there ain't nothing on, I'll watch some high school football out of Miami. Down in Texas, I'll watch some 7-man. I'll watch something because it's on. Not sit there and like dedicate my time to it, but I mean it's like a radio. It's on. You'll pay attention and like you hear some announcer go wild and it's okay. What's going on? Take a sit. 10 minutes of time, and okay, if it's worth watching, continue. If it's not, go back to what you were doing. But you eliminate that shit now, and it's literally everyone's going to get priced out. Everything. Because it's like, okay, you can have your DirecTV bill, whatever that is. Again, especially if you do the stupid bundle or Comcast or whatever, and you're paying X amount. Well, it's only this much for Peacock. Okay, not bad. Well, now what about you throw in Paramount Plus and Showtime? Okay, now it's like whatever, 14 or 15 a month for that. Well, now you got the HBO. Okay. Now you've got, let's say you got a local high school thing you can stream through. Well, there's your high school stuff. Well, that's like, again, not a ton, but you can't do anything through the TV. You can't even cast it from your phone through the TV. So you either got to watch it on a phone or a laptop. And I really don't want to watch football on either. I want to watch it on a TV, but then you're paying for that. You're paying
unless you can add the app to your TV, i.e., being a smart TV, which not all apps can be added to a smart TV.
And that's not even an app; it's just the website.
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
It's
because I mean, technically, Netflix is a website.
Yeah,
but it's for it to be enabled on your TV, you're in fact adding the app to your TV in order to utilize the service. So,
and it's just like, okay, at what point in time? Because I don't know. And then you've got like Apple Plus or whatever. Then you've got Amazon Prime, and then I don't know if Fox has anything anywhere. That's like the only one I have not seen a like streaming service / subscription / something for. So now you don't have them. I mean, you've got some of the program under like the Disney canopy with the Simpsons, because again they bought them or whatever. So that's on like Disney Plus, but it's not like I can go watch Fox programming somewhere. Like on the Peacock or Paramount, you can watch live like Notre Dame game. You can watch it on Peacock. You can watch SEC football live, Alabama, Georgia, or whatever. You can watch that live on Paramount. But there's nothing for Fox that I know of. And if it's again, you know it because Rupert Murdoch loves money. So he's gonna find a fucking way to milk a cow dry. It starts adding up, and when you start again, the young generation, they're fucking used to technological shit. Basically born with an iPad or a fucking cell phone or smartphone in their hand. Not saying they all use them all the time, but they can work their way around that shit. Take guys, gals like us, folks like us, and older. That's where your bread and butter is. That's where a lot of your money's at. Not with us, of course, or at least me. Again, I'll make it. I ain't gonna make it rain, but I'll make it hail. Some pennies. If we're sitting there like I just want to turn on TV, okay, I'll buy into the smart TV and I can push a button and go to Tubi, I can go to YouTube. If I got my subscription, I don't want to fucking constantly go around all these subscriptions. It reminds me like magazines. It's like you get your SI, your Better Homes and Garden, your like Inquirer, your Star, Maxim, Playboy, Hustler, whatever you've got. It's like, okay, if I want to look at it for this, or this, and your Beckett, of course, I'm spending quite a bit of money for this, and this. And I'm really not getting a lot of bang for my buck. So at some point, you figure somebody's got to do something, but nothing's going to happen because they're going to try to bleed everyone dry. And this here is not going to help with that Diamond Sports Group fucking. Well, yeah, that's. I don't mind the network channels, but it just, you dilute the product. Because if you got a crossover, now you got to find. You've got to find like whatever. If ABC can run it, CBS can run it, NBC can run it, Fox can run it. Or do you just throw it on ESPN? Oh, good, like the Big Ten ACC Challenge. It's just going to cause more problems, but if they can find a way to make more money out of it, they will. And it's gonna be worse off for the consumer because it's going to mean more shit to jump through, more streaming services to try to acquire. And again, if it can be cheap for folks, that's great. It won't be though. Because again, even if, like Vinny said, if it's $13 a month, $12.99, that's $144, $156 a year. It's like, am I gonna invest that in Detroit Pistons like basketball? Not this season. Yeah. And hobby wise, how that again really dovetails back in. If you are a crypto grifter and you don't live in Philly and you live in Auburn Hills, you live in Paducah, Kentucky, you live in Macon, Georgia, and you want to see your local squads because, hey, I collect A, but you know what? I got a team around here. I want to see B, C, D, and E. I want to see how they're doing. See what Albies does. See what Acuna. Trying to think of the pitcher that was a real good Strider or Striker or something last year for Atlanta.
Fried.
No, he's good.
Freed.
It's spelled fried. I'm so sorry.
There was a guy that came, I won't say out of nowhere. He was solid in the minors, and then he was like a long man reliever. Came up the first month or so, did that, and then they put him in the rotation, and he fucking went dumb. I mean, I had him for fantasy, and he did real well. But I want to see him or see whoever it is, whatever the case may be, especially down in Miami, where you never know who the fuck's going to be on that team week to week for the Marlins.
Which is why they're your favorite team, Dave. Because that's just what you do. That you
a trade every week. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
It's about as bad as Pittsburgh.
Oh.
We just sell the whole team for money.
That was my point, Vinny.
We don't even get players. We just get cash for the owner.
Yeah, he needs to upgrade his box and not Pandora.
Are you sure it's not Pandora's? It could be.
Nah. He's never seen Pandora's box.
Does he have children?
I don't know.
Well, if he has children, then he's seen it.
He's just a whack job. I just don't like him.
He has
And it was
unborn ones in a Kleenex. That's where his children are.
you said it, I did. But his name is Nutting. So
If the shoe
yeah, I
fits.
went there.
If the
But-
shoe fits.
What I was trying to think about was from 86 to 95, it was called KBL. That was the sports channel for Pittsburgh. Then it went to Prime Sports for like 2 years. Then it went to Fox, then FSN. And then after I moved here, circa 2011, it went to Root Sports. Then in 2017, it went to AT&T Sports. So that's where all the Penguins and the Pirate games were. Because I remember going back, I'm like, what happened to Fox Sports? My brother's like, it's Root now. I'm like, okay. So it was Root Sports to 2011, AT&T till 17. It isn't AT&T on that list too?
I didn't see it anywhere, and that's what they must have done something with, again, Seattle, Colorado, and Pittsburgh, because those were the three. And I saw the other day that what was the Kraken? They were en route, still out in Seattle. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I wish there was like a transaction page of like the networks, because that would be very helpful.
Yeah.
But they must be immune to this, some way, shape, form, or fashion. And everybody else is just under the Bally Sports, and that's
Yeah.
going to be the one that gets clipped.
That Bally's is what we have here. That's what's the Red Wings, the Pistons, and the Tigers.
It's up here too. So I mean, we used to have like WCCO, and then that would be the local, and then Midwest Sports Channel. Then it was Fox Sports Minnesota, and then Fox Sports Net, and then I think Bally's, which nobody enjoyed.
And I think like pre-86, everything was on like your 2, 4, or 11, your KDKA TV, Channel 2. You know, you could get it with rabbit ears. I remember watching games on those channels and then when Fox came along, I remember our local Fox channel would carry the baseball game. And then before you know it, it's 86. And then it's KBL. It was channel 17. I don't know why I can remember that, but KBL was 17. You had to press the button
my
on the box.
grandmother paid for cable forever and a day because she had to have her baseball. Because Rangers baseball was not shown on 4, 5, 8, or 11. I think it was actually on. It was on a cable channel, but for the life of me, I couldn't tell you what it was. But that was the whole reason they had cable. My grandfather wanted his HBO, and my grandmother wanted cable for baseball. So, because TBS, I mean, WGN, one of the two, WGN or TBS, was part of cable. I can't remember which one it was.
We had WGN, TBS. We had a station outside. We got the Islander games because it was a New York station, and they would play the Islanders and the Rangers game. We had it where we got Buffalo games. We had that for the longest time, and then one day, poof, people got those exclusive rights to that stuff. And the only thing I remember keeping was TBS for the longest of times. I remember losing WGN. Couldn't watch the Cubs anymore. And then before you know it, Ted Turner lost the rights with the Braves, and TBS started carrying a bunch of baseball, not just the Braves. So those days are gone. And plus we had the wrestling was on TBS for WCW,
Yep.
so you had to have it. My grandfather, every Saturday night and every Sunday night, watch wrestling, and then the Braves or the Pirates. It was like clockwork. And I don't know what WWE was on. I can't remember.
USA.
Was it on USA back then?
Yeah. Was it WWOR out of New York?
Yep. I remember getting the kids show. Oh, what was it? Steam Pipe Alley or something with Mario Cantone. He had his own. He's now a big actor, not a big actor, but an actor. But he was on a local kids show called Steam Pipe Alley, and I remember them being sponsored by a bunch of candy companies, but they were local out of New York.
I've never. Steam Pipe Alley sounds like a free DVD with The Hustler or something.
I think that's what it was called.
I mean, I still remember when WGN started airing White Sox games.
Mm-hmm.
Because for the longest time, of course, there were no lights at Wrigley, so you got the Cubs during the day, and then years later, you didn't get all the White Sox games. You got some of them.
Yep.
But it gave them something else to air on WGN as it pertained to sports. But it was only baseball. It's not like you could turn to WGN and watch the Bulls play.
What year was it? It was a couple years later. And they didn't have what the hell's their old coach's name? Johnny Red something. Johnny Red. He was one of the announcers. Because I remember, and it was weird because we were at my cousin's house. And again, this is fucking just some random time in like 92. Either 91 or 92 that winter. 91 into 92. And that's when, like, the first time I saw Petrovic play. It was the Nets and the Bulls on WGN. Johnny Red Kerr, I think was, God, I swear, and I don't remember who else was with him. I can hear him. I don't know. It might have been Larrabee, Wayne Larrabee. Because I know he does all the Green Bay stuff, but I don't know if he did the Bulls stuff early on. Well, early on for him, but and they had some on there, and it usually was like a Saturday night game. So I don't know if they were trying to pull, like they're going head to head with the WTBS to pull from the wrestling fans. It's like, hey, we got Jordan on over here. Take a peek. But again, it wasn't all the time. NBA was always on NBC, and that's what you had. And then whatever local stuff you could find, because I don't remember shit. Like watching anything up until maybe again you had like I don't even know if TNT had shit.
TNT had some sports, but I thought that was later on.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm trying to think into like mid-teens, like 94, 5. That's when stuff really started to like
expanding.
Yeah, sprinkle through like the cable companies. I mean, again, we've talked about TBS at Atlanta shit. WGN at Chicago. You'd have a Blackhawks game on there every once in a while too. But it wasn't like, and again, the Timberwolves were dog shit then too, so it wasn't like I was actively searching them out. But I think that's why the love of college sports was always there. You could always find some sort of college something on MSC. But just I remember you'd see the old Sports Center highlight. It'd be like Stanford and Utah or whatever. Jefferson Pilot would be like the it'd give the broadcaster the cred. Always seeing that like Raycom, Jefferson Pilot, what the fuck is this stuff? And just always being enamored with that, and I'm like, then finally finding out these are broadcasters or like whatever, and somehow, some way, somebody tripped something one day, and I'd be like, okay, wow, what's this? Channel 83 hasn't come in before. It's something out of Chattanooga. I'm like, I'll watch this for a while or something, and it opened your eyes then because we were so young and I won't say naive, but you don't know about the broadcasting shit. You're literally in whatever that TV shows you. If you got the turn TV and it goes to 13, you got 13 channels. And usually 2 or 3 of those are just shit. One's like a black one or whatever, or just like a blackout one. You got one that's, again, local access or something. Somebody's talking about how to make fucking
PBS.
Yeah, Lepsa. And you got your cable company, like sort of not rip-offs, but your WTBS, your WGN, one of the two, maybe 2 if you got lucky. Because I think I had channel 2 was WGN for me.
Well, 2 for us for the longest time was HBO.
And
but
again,
that's also before everything became digital, though, too.
25 was HBO. And
2 was
WWO. Go ahead.
2 was HBO and 22 was Showtime. 99 was Stars when Stars became a thing.
I don't even remember when we had Stars.
Stars was the cheapest for the longest time.
Yep.
That was what, Encore or whatever the fuck it was.
Cinemax.
Skinemax.
Yep.
Cinemax.
Depending on what time you watched.
Yeah, what time you tuned in. But WWOR was Secaucus, New Jersey. So it was a different station for New York that we got. But I remember we got WWOR, I think it was channel 9 or 19 because once we got like 99 channels, it was on.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing my grandfather never skipped on was the cable, because he liked watching TV after he retired. He never watched it because he worked the double shift every day of his friggin' life. So he had a lot to catch up on.
And that was
From
the good part.
80
You had to fill how many channels, and you couldn't do it like it is now. It's not Discovery and the War Channel and the Food Network and Playboy Channel 1 through 7. It's like, no, you had to pluck all these like regional. Hey, WCCO, you're going to be in there for Minneapolis. Fox 11 out of LA, you're coming along for the ride. Whatever's down in Dallas or the big NBC channel down there, you're coming up here too. And
hate to say it, liked it better.
oh, I loved it. I love watching local news somewhere else. It's okay. Fox 11. I've said it before. I don't know how many places. Subway guy and go to the crippled dude's house. Video games. Usually 1 a.m. That's 11 p.m. I think out there. Their news would come on. If they break in, there's a car chase. Well, there's our last entertainment for the night. We'll stay over until the car chase finishes. And I mean, I'd rather do that than sit there and watch Ed's Game of Thrones or anything. None of that stuff gets me excited. Tristan wants to watch the shows and the sitcoms, and we haven't even watched the new season of You yet. I just want to watch basketball, car crash videos, tornadoes.
Everybody's got their preferences. Everybody's got their preferences.
It's tough for me to get into that shit. So I mean that's
so
why
choice is lacking. Let's put it that way.
In some situations,
if you don't pay for it.
Well, that's true. That's true.
That one's for you, Dave.
As long as you feel better.
This stuff here is like a belching Dynamo, Sprite. Good God. Try not to drink Mountain Dew. And see, I went through this. 2 things of Rolling Rock, Grape Crush, an orange Gatorade. Now I'm on Sprite.
You're going to be spending 5 minutes in the bathroom here before too long.
Yeah, you can't chug Sprite. That's
No, you cannot.
No, it's too carbon, too bubbly.
So, Dave, we are coming up on the 2-hour mark, but I wanted to ask for. Oh well, there's only 3 people here. Should I open one,
Go for it.
and then we can wrap up the show?
Yes.
Dave, who am I looking for?
Adley Rushman, Gunnar Henderson, Nolan Gorman. I think there's a Grissom for Atlanta. What? I think Vaughn Grissom.
Well, I'll show all the rookies, and then you can tell me. Yeah, this is because all the base shit doesn't matter. But then I'll have to look through everything and see if there's any SSPs.
Riley Green for Detroit.
What's up, Jeff?
All right. So there's this rookie dude.
Is that the catcher? I didn't even catch it.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a solid guy too. I don't remember. They just traded a guy away. It could have been him to Arizona for that Dalton Bar show, which is Gary's kid.
Some of the base cards are coming out fairly good already. Soto, there's Harper. There's this rookie dude, Encarnacion. Got a good name. Got a good baseball.
He had some issues.
Sorry, I'm still going through these kind of slowly so I can catch all the rookies. Max Castillo. Castillo is how some people would pronounce it. So I'm going through this kind of slow, so bear with me, folks. Vaughn Grissom.
That's
a good one.
Solid.
Go. I hate the fact that when they package these, they go 15 million different directions. It drives me nuts. Evan Lee. So these are all going to be rookies that I end up showing. Nobody gives a shit about the standard base cards. Unless they're super short prints, which I'll look at the back once I... Michael Grove. I think that's what that said. Mike Trout. Carlos's favorite player. So this is rookie with a rookie cup.
Yeah, Vinny, he was Pasquantino or whatever. He's gonna be a masher. I don't think he's gonna hit for a high average, but he'll be sort of like a poor man's Adam Dunn. Maybe up to that level, but hopefully not as many strikeouts.
Well, I mean, all the rookies get sleeved anyways. There's the future stars of Bryson Stott. I will say, at least this year, the names are a little bit easier to read than last year's.
Gorman's a solid one, real solid.
Of course, sometimes it's hard to find the rookie logo on some of them because I put them in different places. Oscar Gonzalez. I'm going to hold off on getting into the inserts and the variation stuff until later. We'll save those for last. Now we got all the damn sideways cards, which really freaking drive me nuts. Marcus Wilson. Like I said, I will thumb back through these to see if I stumble across any super short prints or variations or anything like that. But these sideways ones really make it difficult to find the rookie logo. As you can see, my head being tilted here as I'm looking through these. Because they put them in, like I said, they put them in weird ass places. Of course, I'm trying to scan these somewhat because this is riveting, content here.
Yeah. True.
More of these damn sideways cards. Man, that is. It's one thing I hate it when freaking Topps does that shit. You telling me we're not going to have any more rookies in this thing? I mean, it's always possible. It is a hanger. Or it is a, Future Stars. George Kirby.
He played well last year.
Another rookie. Ethan Small. For the Brew Crew. So obviously, none of the huge guys. We've got a gold, numbered, of course, to 2023 of Starling Marte. Stars of the MLB. This is Chrome of Albies. So that's the Chrome version. We've got a Royal Blue rookie of Sosa. We got a rainbow foil of Caleb Smith. I have no idea who the hell that is, but then again, is that the Diamondbacks? Or is that? Yep, Diamondbacks. That's probably why. Stars of the MLB. They freaking put enough of them in here. It's Wander Franco, Otani, Guerrero, and Baez. Not a bad grouping of 4 players. We got the 88 of Chisholm. And I got an Aces. These are pretty cards, man. Pedro. So those are pretty looking cards, man. So let me thumb through these real quick, make sure I didn't miss any super short prints, since they actually have it in big fucking bold writing nowadays.
I saw that for somebody had a U Darvish. I think I saw it and they showed the back and it sounded like massive SSP on them.
At least you know.
Well, I'm just like, how does it fucking take that long to do this?
So
Steve Aoki must have wanted it.
He's a true collector.
Yep.
So let me double check the rookies just to be sure none of these are SSPs that I showed. So it's looking like no SSPs. So,
and I don't know how they come in the packs, if anything's backwards, or I haven't watched one break, because I know it's like Chris, when he does his, he hammers through especially when it's a jumbo box, he's flying through that stuff, which again I get for him. I think the one I watched, Mike O, he opened up and I caught that about halfway through, but somebody amongst the subscribers or the subscriptions and whatnot usually try to watch that just because it's something fun, and somebody's going to take their time and, hey, it's a goofy picture and it's not an SSP, but it's a goofy picture or something like that, and not just fucking drop it, clutch and rip through them. But again, I get where Chris has to do that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, from the base stuff and all that, he doesn't even give a shit about the rookies or anything. He's only looking for inserts, parallels, that type of stuff. But that's the way he's always been for something like a Topps.
Yeah.
But, like I said, for the price point, it gives me a chance to open some of the new stuff. See, maybe if I get lucky and get a decent super short print. But I've at least started to enjoy opening baseball when it pertains to some of the rookies, because I've said it before, expanding the portfolio and having a quote unquote side collection as it pertains to decent rookies for multiple sports just sitting aside for when, it's when I kick the bucket. It's like, hey, kids, these are the boxes that you need to go do something with. So, but with that, I think we can wrap it up, Dave.
Thank you, everyone, sticking around at the beginning. If you stuck around, and we were more on brand than usual tonight. I know the topic was not exactly a fucking one that anyone dying to hear about, but again, it does pertain to a lot of us, and just something to think about. I mean, if you don't have deep pockets, or you've already got 3-4 subscriptions plus cable, whatever the case may be, it's just something to sit there and give you a little information that I hope you guys can use, and gals can use, and folks can use, and put in your back pocket. And now at least you've been informed. As we all know, knowing is half the battle. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. Let us know how you like our new setup. Send us monies. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that. Especially for Eric. We really hope to. And then same with Carlos' show on Friday. Or whenever Carlos has like a standalone episode or something. All those likes. Same with on all our channels. If we make videos, all those likes also go in that pile, and Eric has to pay dearly and get deprived of chocolate sticks. So that just ruins his life, and that's what we're here to do. So for Vinny, for Steve, I'm Dave. This has been the Insert Revolution podcast. Remember, collecting cards, absolutely wonderful hobby. The friendships that you forge along the way, though, that's what really matters. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.